Okay. Now, I've had this since December 24th, actually. And I know it was a lady named Catherine Seaborn or Seahorn, something like that had it before, and it had expired. So I saw it on the available list, and I kind of liked it.
Well, it's a good sounding call. So, hey, you'll be proud to have it. And you're welcome to check in the net at November, KC, and with your 940, you'll be quite welcome there.
Well, thank you for the invite. All right, have a wonderful evening, Skip. Thanks for the help and the advice. Kilo 6, Kilo Bravo, Sierra 73.
Okay, 73 for now. When you're in, you're welcome. You don't have to be running Swan equipment to check into the net. Just show some interest in that. See you later. For the Swan Net, K6 LGL.
KI6 CSA, how about it, Skip?
WA6 Jacks, Kings, and 9s, and not very loud signal, Chris.
We've got a big week plan at work.
KI6 CSA, hello there, Chris. And hello there also, Kevin, let's see, CSA, and WA6JKN.
Got plenty of work.
November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. They're up 1KC just a little while ago. So, Chris, over to you, and then pass it over to Kevin. Good evening to both of you, and welcome to the area for the Swan Net, K6 LGL.
Get Phil in there, N6 WHK there, Skip.
Okay, N6 WHK recognized. You follow Kevin, over.
All right, thanks, Skip. Yeah, just came back in at dinner. We're on a brand new radio that I'll talk about during the net. And it's a nice looking radio. And it does qualify for the Swan Net, I believe. And I will leave you guys in suspense. So with that, I'll hand it over to Kevin. WA6 Jack, Kings, and 9s. KI6 CSA.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard your signal 20 over S9 before, Chris. 20 dog biscuits over S9. And Phil, Chris's signal is louder than Phil's. Chris's signal is louder than Skip's. That is a first. So I want to hear more about this radio and what you're using as an antenna. Well, without further ado, let's get it over to Phil. N6 WHK, WA6JKN.
BWS.
Got you, Ron.
Get on there and every band that you can get on there.
WA6JKN, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. Well, good evening to everybody. Hope everybody's doing very fine. With that, let's turn it over to Ron, KD6 BWS, N6WHK.
Okay, Phil. N6WHK and the early Swan Net, and hello, Skip and Chris and Kevin. And Chris, you're low in frequency, so you need to get on frequency with the rest of us there. A little high pitched, but blasting in here, sounding good. So yeah, I'm on the Swan 350C. So alrighty. Well, I guess I'll send it back up to you, Skip. K6LGL, KD6BWS.
W6YET checking in.
Okay, there's son George.
That park's on air really gets on my nerves, too.
Welcome aboard, too, W6YET. Good evening, and welcome to the release of the Swan Net, K6LGL. I was talking earlier to Jeb. K6KDS, and I'm sure I worked that call. He got it just
They call it COVID.
last year, around
COVID.
December.
Sample parts on the area. I don't know. I think that's what it is.
I asked him if you would, so you get the PS 940.
Parts on
Well, Chris, except for you doing 300 cycles, it's sounding very good. So,
I think that's what
you'll have a chance to tell us about it there. So we'll beat the frequency or get on frequency, and let's hear all about it. And the signal is strong. 306 CSA, and who are on the list? They have CSA.
Yep, that's right. That's right. All right, we're the rest of you guys. Now get in here. Get on with it.
Joining us.
Ain't been time yet.
Officially underway. 6 LGL.
WA6 Juliet. And horseshoes.
Okay, there's Mel, WA6JBD. Welcome to aboard. Mel, Juliet Bravo Delta.
I got my receiving checked back a little bit to get some
George checked in after me. Did you get him on the list, Skip?
Barely can't hear you. Where you at?
I got him. I just forgot to write it down. W6. YEC.
Oh, yeah, but check him out.
Absolutely right. He was right after you there. Very good. All right, let's go back to Chris. Chris, tell us the good news. K6 LGL.
Well, no, that's not bad for hard work. We're doing anything. You got ready to put down the M4 NCJ up here about Springboro.
Get it to tune in where I'm sounding reasonable, and then assuming it's a transceiver, we should be fairly close.
Back on 736.
Yeah.
That's a good old radio.
That's the best I can do. Doesn't have RIT. Okay. All right, yeah, this is KI6CSA, and we are located in Bay Park, and we are talking on a new Atlas 210X X-ray that JNY6L lovingly restored, and it's beautiful. It's a deep low radio, and it's putting out about 100 watts, or a little more maybe, I don't know. But I'm not, it's fine. The antenna, since I moved one leg of the antenna over, it's made a world of difference. And thank you for the compliment there, Kevin. I appreciate it. You're booming in. Everybody's booming in. Ever since I moved that antenna, everybody's signals come way up. So, I'm glad I did it. And it only took me about 10 minutes. I should have did it a long time ago. We're on Atlas, which, from what I understand, Herb, Johnson? No, I can't think so. I guess he formed this company after Cubic bought out Swan, and I'm sure Skip will correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding. So, anyways, it's a neat little radio. It's really small, solid state, so it doesn't really need to warm up. And looks like Jay put an LED light in the meter, so it's definitely looks cool. So let me see. I'll head back to you, Skip. K6 LGL, KI6BSA.
We coming to you. I got you about an S8 or something like that.
Sounding good. Sounding good. I just have to use the RIT feature here.
Yeah, I'm
to get to that.
go west and you run into me.
But sounding good, and whatever you get to the antenna is working. Your signals are good 10 to 15 over 9 here. So, let's go down the list over to...
All right, well, we'll see you later, buddy. Good to hear you.
Kevin,
Herman might want to pick him up when he runs off.
YEC and George over to our friend in the Inland Empire, WA6LB. I should say JBD. K6 Little Green Light.
FWL.
Well, hello there, Jay. All right, you'll be after Mel there. Welcome aboard.
Okay, Skip.
Okay, JKN, my turn to burn?
Yes, it is. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, thank you very much. And Chris, wow. Chris, you are right now #1 in signal strength. The only reason I'm making a big deal out of it is because this is a first. You've always been down in, noise level. Not always, but most of the time. And right now, you got a huge signal. And so take pictures of that antenna the way you have it installed right now. And that way, if it ever gets blown down by the wind or whatever, you'll have pictures to be able to put it back up exactly the way you have it. And your rig is definitely off frequency, as everybody's mentioned. So take a look. I'm not familiar with that rig. Does it have like a clarifier or RIT? See if it's turned on and turn it off. Maybe you'll be able to tune in Skip or anyone else here to get back on frequency, because that you can't operate the rig like that for very long. You're going to get a lot of complaints because you're way off frequency. You're not just a little bit off frequency, you're way off. So yeah, but for your maiden voyage, no problem. Welcome aboard. Let's get it, keep it moving here. N6 WHK, WA6JKN.
WA6JKN, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. Yeah, Chris is sounding really fantastic, but since he spread the legs out on that antenna, he had two of them too close together, I believe. I think the problem was his brother lived next door and he couldn't spread them. Now, I understand he can now. So you're sounding beautiful, Chris. It's about darn on time. And you're burning and turning. It's really working well for you. Yeah, I'm running the 350 Delta, the Swan, so that's what I'm operating here. I am gonna pass it down to our friend over in Joshua Tree, KD6 VWS and 6WHK.
Okay, Phil. N6WHK, KD6 VWS. Yeah, that's spreading the, opening up the antenna to, definitely made a difference there, Chris. Yeah, if you got the legs kind of pointed like a V in one direction, a friend of mine had an antenna like that. It didn't work very good at all, but getting it to where the legs are 180 degrees apart, in a straight line, that definitely, that will make a difference. Yeah. Well, it was a pretty nice day today. Kind of hazy, but halfway warm. I got up to 64, so definitely appreciated that. But it looks like we got some precip coming. Not sure when, but anyway, let me send it down to George. W6YEC, KD6 VWS.
Okay, very good, Ron, W6YEC. Yeah, I zero beated you because I keyed in on the 7800 because you were sounding a little high to me, and I thought, well, maybe it's my problem, and it was. So anyway, I zero beated you on the 7800, then I zero beated you with the Swan, so I should be on frequency. Yeah, Chris, I think on that radio, when you get a manual on it, you'll find out you're going to need to do some alignment on the VFO. I don't think there is any clarifier. There isn't any RIP, I don't believe, on an Atlas 210. And probably it's a voltage issue. Getting the receiver and the transmit lined up properly with the right voltage on the VFO. And that could be where the problem is. And it might be, relating to the regulator. Yasu does the same thing. You have to align the power supply correctly to get the VFO on frequency on transmit. Otherwise, if you're tuning us in, you're probably on frequency in terms of tuning us in, but the transmitter's out of alignment. So you've got a little work to do. Yeah, isn't that amazing how his signal has come up? And I'm sure grateful that it has. And so now people are really hearing him all over the place. He checked into our 5 o'clock net and pretty good signal reports. So congratulations on that, Chris. Long time coming. And okay, on the new radio from that you got from Frank. And I sent you a note, I think. I'm pretty sure that was my receiver. And I got it from Dennis, I think is what happened, from an estate thing. So that's maybe where the confusion was. And what do you call it? Frank was over and loved the receiver, so he picked that up. I think he was going to use it with the Ranger or something, because he's got so much stuff there now. So I think that was the deal on that HQ120. And I was certainly impressed on how clean it was. I'm pretty sure that came through Dennis and it's AI and an estate situation. So at any rate, that's the deal on that. All right, everybody, we had a great day today. Well, it's the Foster Freeze up there in Allied Gardens. It has some good fellowship with the guys up there. And didn't get any lunch. I decided to just get myself a nice chocolate banana shake. And then there was some leftover French fries that I chewed on. So no big lunch, but we had salmon and broccoli tonight and squash. So I got the healthy meal this evening from my wife, Becky, and some iced tea, no sugar. So pretty healthy meal. And I took my balance of nature today, so I certainly got my veggies in and my fruit. So that balance of nature is pretty good stuff. I'm hooked on it, and trusting what they're saying, getting my full daily need of vegetables and fruit with balance of nature, and what have you. Anyhow, great day today. I did a little practicing on my driving just for the fun of it. Took the SUV up my long driveway here from the radio room and turned around out there at the street and then came back down and was double checking my my driving along the curve there. Because I know that's one of the things that's going to check out, see if I can pull alongside of the curve without hitting the curve. So, and also was checking out the SUV. It's been a long time since I've been on the road with it, so just making sure that I'm familiar with all of the settings, like the defroster and all that stuff. And let's see, I get back in a couple times into my little canopy there. And so it's helping me just get back to using the mirrors and moving my head back and forth. I know the DMV driver testers look for that. Are you using your mirrors? Do you use the side mirrors and do you move your head, looking around, do defensive driving? So it's just practicing. So that happens on the 28th of February. I'll go take that test in the morning. So
certainly hope I pass it, and I can't drive right away, even if I pass it. I have to wait for Orange County to send me the release. So, and they won't stop that. So, there you go. Anyway, we're on the Swan 500 tonight, and, last week I was having a problem with the key, and I can't make it act up. I took the cover off, so if it acts up, I can maybe wiggle some tubes around, try to identify why it was the key. And, I'm wondering if it was the push-to-talk switch. Something I haven't tried yet. I did plug a box unit into it this week because I had it lying around, so I plugged the box in, and I'm going to try that out. Put it over the box and see if it actually works. All right, that's my spiel. Good to hear you, Mel and Jay. Sounding good tonight. Over to you, Mel, and then you pass it to Jay, I believe, and then back to Skip, unless somebody else, checks in. So, W86JBD, take it away, Mel. W6YEC, down here in San Diego area.
All right, thank you, George. W6YEC is a squad group, W86JBD, Mel and Upland. Well, it's good to hear everybody on there tonight. Signals are pretty good. And, Chris, his 100 watts there is coming here at about 20 over S9, so that's a pretty respectable signal for 100 watts from San Diego, so well done. Well, I'm running the Swan 700 CX tonight, and it's feeling its oats, pretty enthusiastic, about 450, 500 watts peak power. I never did change those tubes, but I've noticed the more I use it, the better they get. So I think maybe they just needed to, maybe they were a little gassy after sitting for a couple of years, but I'm not sure what to think about that, but sometimes that happens with the old tube stuff. They get better with age. Well, this last week I was down in Lake Havasu helping remove some towers from the pilot location at a couple of 25 towers. So I get to play cat herder and kind of directed the operation there of taking some towers and equipment. And that all went well. And for my troubles, the family of the pilot gave me a Swan 1200W linear amplifier. And it's actually in pretty nice shape. It's been sitting in the garage for many, many years. It's pretty dusty and dirty, but I've already dived into it to see what it's going to take to get it going. And replace the power supply capacitor. It's got a broken rotary switch on the bypass switch, so that should be fairly easy to fix. But I've noticed that online, nobody has a decent schematic of the 1200W. They're all photocopies that are chopped in the middle and missing stuff. So I took it upon myself to redraw the schematic, and I've got a nice clean copy of it. And so I've got a decent roadmap. But anyway, that should be a fun project to get going. The 700 certainly doesn't need the boost, but I'll find a home for it somewhere. But fun little project. The 1200W amplifier. That's all I got for this go round. Jay, take it away. W86WL, W86JBD Upland. Yeah, everybody's coming in here pretty good. Chris, you're much stronger with what you did with this is true. Accurate right here. Maybe a little more. Didn't really look at the meter that good. But we're on the 500C tonight, putting out about 250 watts. And I picked up a Swan 120 today at the Claremont Pop Meet. So I've been kind of looking at it. I got the bottom of it off now. It looks pretty good. I got it from a guy that's optional,
may know him too down there in San Diego. I believe it's ER6NM or NR6AM. He also has 600 twins telling me that the very first one was produced. I guess they were actually Herb Johnson's own twins there. So, pretty interesting. Anyway, yes, I know I got this at a real good price, so I couldn't pass it up. And it looks to be in pretty good shape here. So, we'll try it out on 20 meters when I get a chance. Yeah, just be sure I'll bring it up on the Marriott and make sure that... Anyway, I think I'm at the caboose here, so I guess it goes back to you, Skip. I think I was the last one, unless somebody else jumps in there. K6LGL, WB6MWL.
KK6IRZ. Hey, it's Jeffrey. Good evening to you, Jeff. KK6IRZ. Welcome aboard. Why don't you take one and then pass it back to me, and then we'll see if there's any other late chickens, later chickens. K6, little green light. Go ahead, Jeff.
Watch out. Well, good evening, everybody. KK6IRZ just happened to hear the net going on, so I thought I would jump in and say hello. I haven't heard the signal yet from Chris, but it seems like people are already talking about it, and I heard him before also. He seemed to be doing quite well, so I'll be anxiously awaiting to hear what it sounds like this evening. But other than that, not too much going on. Just been working around the shack and getting things ready and hanging out a little bit on 40-meter AM. So that's pretty much the whole story for today. Back over to you, Skip. K6LGL with the net tonight. This is KK6IRZ.
I'm glad to have you aboard. We got the Inland Empire represented by both of you and Nell there. K6LGL. Okay, Jeff, fine and good. Well, I think what Chris did, producing symmetrical lobes, and there's some gain showed up there. What a difference. And you'll tell me about it more on what he's running. And you're absolutely right, there is no LIT on it, so you'll have to realign the transmit oscillator. The receive is okay. Now what you could do, if you want to, shift down about 300 cycles, and on the receiver, your transmitter will be right on. But then none of us will sound good on there. That's only a problem. All right. Let's go do another round there. Glad to hear everybody. And again, Chris, how high is that antenna? Give us a description whether you're running there for an antenna. And getting those symmetrical patterns sure helps. KI6CSA, K6LGL, and the Swan Net. K2LMQ. Okay, Paul. Paul. Oh, good evening to you. How things in New England there on the mountain? K6LGL. K2LM2, go ahead, Paul. K6LGL, first ready.
Okay, good evening. Hello. Yep, it's fine. Haven't checked anything, just turned it on here. And everything works tonight. See, after my fiasco with Thursday night with nothing working on 80 or 40, it just was chaos. I haven't checked the rest of it out yet, but I'm using the FT901DM into the 30L1 and the inverted V at 75 feet. I'm running about 500 watts.
And that's about the story here, Chris. We've had some, Skip, we've had some incredible weather here. It's just been outstandingly beautiful. So just put me in the loop somewhere, and I'm in for the evening. K6LGL, K2LMQ.
Okay, Paul, well, you're after KK6ROZ, just in Chino. Well, I'm glad you got your equipment working, it's sounding good, and you and I are quite honest. You got the 901, the one that preceded the final version, and I got the 902. I love mine. Direct injection into the mixer, no RF stage. It can have a tremendous amount of signals, you know. It's pretty difficult to overload it. It compares with the best of the SDRs and others. Okay, let's go back to the top. So let me read the list as I have it in case some of you may not be aware. First we have CM6TSA, Chris there in San Diego. Then WA6JKN 10. Then N6WHK Phil. Then KD6VWS Ron and Joshua Tree. Followed by W6YEC George. Then followed by WA6JBD Mel, there is following the Inland Empire there, and then WB6MWO, the second one there. Actually, we have three of you. The Inland Empire are represented tonight. And then after MWO, KK6ROZ, and then our out-of-state station, K2LMQ Paul. So, over to you there, Chris. About that antenna, K6LJ.
Okay. Let me turn myself in here. Hello. Hello. Here we go. Hello. Hello. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. Here we go. Okay. There. I'll leave it right there. Hope it'll stay there. Right on frequency, pretty much, or close. Okay. So it is a Frankenstein antenna. I'm trying to remember exactly. I remember now. George gave me an antenna that was for 80 and 40 meters, and it had traps on each end, and it had a real small, narrow ballon, and the ballon was broken, and it wasn't working. I guess it was shorted or something. So, anyways, to make a long story short, I got one of Bob's AK6R's 5K ballons and put up there, and it's about maybe 30 feet, maybe 35 feet at the top, and like Phil said, I couldn't run the antenna across my brother's side of the house. We have a duplex, so but now I'm able to, and so I now, yeah, like Paul was saying, it was like a V, a sharp V, and they're probably I don't know, maybe 15 feet from each other. So now they're not. Now they're like, oh gosh, I don't know, at least 40 feet apart or more. They're really far from each other. So now it's more like a inverted V, kind of with the one leg of it kind of in an L. But yeah, it seems to be helping on the receive too. So I'm tickled pink. I mean, I have another antenna I was going to put up, and I still might, but gosh, the way you guys are making me feel about what I did to this antenna, I don't want to touch it. Especially Kevin said I should take pictures. I'm even more scared to touch it. I should document the way it's up. So, but everybody's sounding good. Let's see. Jay, that 120 that you got from Frank, I saw that. That thing is nice. I'm surprised he sold it. That's interesting. But I got this from him too, Jay. This is the 210X. Lapis. But I guess I need to figure out the alignment here. That's something that I've never done before. But I kind of have there's a radio I saw a video on YouTube and some pictures of it.
and if anybody has one just laying around, maybe they don't want it, but it's an Atlas 350 XL. 350 XL, extra Lima. That is a beautiful transceiver. I'd love to get my hands on one of those. So anyways, let me hand it over to my friend up there in Garlic Capital, WA6, JKN, TI6CSA.
KI6CSA, WA6JKN. I am just so amazed that that made that much of a difference by spreading the or increasing the hypotenuse. Yeah. Yeah, somebody mentioned 180 degrees. I don't think that's right. It should be 90. Right? So it would be a total, let's see, be right angles from the apex, so that would be, a total of 180 degrees. So the hypotenuse of each right angle times 2, I suppose. Oh, well. Anyway, you are competitive now, big time, Chris, the way the antenna is right now. And all the stations are pretty darn close to your signal strength at 20 over plus. The only one that I would say is probably running neck and neck with you, like in a big old horse race, would be Jeff, KK6IRZ. You know, he's another one that has one of these antennas that you say, you know, how is it possible that antenna works so well? Because when he's on 40, 75, no matter where, he's coming in like, a California kilowatt on steroids, you know, back in the old days when we used to say that. But, so there you go. You got a little bit of competition there on some strange Frankenstein type antennas that probably couldn't even be explained because the mathematics would be too complex, even for computers. Well, anyway, I'm just so happy that your signal is so strong now, because I remember straining and would have to rely on KFS most of the time, Chris. And so anyway, congratulations. All right, welcome aboard to everybody else. Jeff and I have been spending a lot of time down there on 40 meters, sometimes twice a day, and it's just a lot of fun running AM down there. We're starting to get people showing up. We had an esteemed visitor from Utah, Glenn, W7YO, and I got to tell you something funny that Glenn told me when I was talking to him on 17 meters AM on 18.115. This is what he told me. He says, I was listening to a couple of guys on sideband, and they were listening on 7293 on 40 meters. And what made it a big deal in the conversation is the way they presented the information, and this is how they presented it. Did you hear those two broadcast stations down there on 7293 talking to each other? And, broadcast stations don't hold QSOs, but that's what they referred us to. They thought we were two broadcast stations having a QSO. That's so funny. Over to you, Phil, N6WHK, WA6JKN.
WA6JKN. You got me laughing there for the broadcast station. November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. Well, fine business there. I go down there every now and again and I'll listen to you guys. I haven't loaded up my loop on 40. I can, but I don't know. It's just I have problems on 40 meters, but hopefully I will be changing that pretty soon. Anywho, maybe I can get a signal like Chris's. Chris, you're 20 over at my QTH. It's the strongest I've ever heard you since we've been talking for, however long it's been. It's been a long time anyway. I'm kind of laughing at that broadcast thing. That was kind of neat. Anywho, with that over to Ron, KD6BWS and 6WHK.
Okay, Phil. N6WHK, KD6BWS, and everybody's coming in great. Of course, George and Paul, they're hitting me about 40 over on this generous S meter. The old Swan 350C is real generous on signal strengths, but everybody's coming in at least 20 over, so ain't a problem there. And I think when you get away from 180 degrees on that, I think the two legs kind of tend to phase some of the signal out or something, or it just beams off in one direction too much, kind of like a V-beam, but I don't know. Like I say, I tried it. A friend of mine had a FT101 EE, and he had an antenna like that where the legs were probably 90 degrees from each other or something like that, and I couldn't make a contact with anybody. I was hearing people, but I kept trying to check into the group and nobody heard me, so I said, well, that antenna configuration is not going to work. Time to spread them legs so they're in a straight line, 180 degrees. So, but good deal, yeah, that's great. Yeah, be curious to see how it sounds when you get on the AMI net. Should really improve your signal there too. And alrighty. Well, let me keep it moving on. Let me send it over to you, George. George, you're talking about the Yaesu. Yeah, they have that zero control for aligning the transmit and receive. And I found that out the hard way on mine. And I adjusted that. And I told Bob, WA9JIB, he was always off frequency on his 101, and I mentioned that to him to adjust that zero control up there on top where those three controls are together by the power supply. So I don't know if he adjusted it or not, but anyway, let me send it over to you, George. W6YEC, KD6BWS.
Okay, 100%, guys. Very nice. Hello to you, Kevin. W6YEC. I didn't know if maybe Bob, Herb decided to go the same direction with the VFO there. So it's something to look at. It's probably not too complicated, Chris, to get it lined up. Yep, that did bring you in close to the frequency of what you were doing there. Yeah, I guess you were listening on another receiver or something. Probably your 7800 you were feeding it in. Anyway, on the transmit side, so then you just had to play with the dial to get us to sound better. Yep, and by the way, Jay, yeah, that was Frank. That's the same person that Chris got the 210 from. NR6AM. Yep. A Swan 120. Now that sounds like fun. I think years ago I had a Swan 140. No, I had the 240. I don't know if I ever had the single Swan. Anyway, I had a 240 when I got back into ham radio back in the 60s. And used to take that with me on my weekend National Guard exercises. I operated a 20 band, which had BC610 in it and an R388 and telepatch gear. And of course I would have that Swan set up, run a 40-meter dipole, and run phone patches back to San Diego from up there at wherever we were doing our weekend get-togethers. And then during the 2-week ordeal that we have to go to, which is out there in the Mojave Desert there, Fort Irwin. Yep. So that was a lot of fun. Made the time go faster having the Swan with me. And let's see, Jeff sounded good. Nice to have you check into our net today on 5. And Paul, you're sounding excellent as usual. Big signal, and everything seems to be functioning for you tonight. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, we're, as I said earlier, just running the 500, no letters. And the MFJ meter says it's kicking up to about 400. So that's pretty cool. This has been, turned out to be a pretty good radio. And I enjoy operating it, so I always look forward to Saturday night to be able to turn the Swan on and operate it. I did use it on the business on Tuesday, just for the joy of it. And that's where I think I ran into a problem with it not seeing. And pulled the cover off, and I still haven't figured out what was going on there. Most obvious is that push-to-talk box switch, but don't know. Because I thought I flipped that back and forth. Didn't make any difference. Anyhow, everybody's sounding awesome. So I guess we have a little rain coming, from what I'm hearing from others. Although the storm, I think, is dying down. It usually does when it gets to Southern California. If we get hit really hard, that's unusual. So we planted some trees out front today, and oh man, went down pretty deep in the soil. Was just nice soil. With the rain that we've had, it was just nice damp soil. And so Becky got that done today. I've been using my fella next door who's renting from us, and paying him to do some extra work for us there. That's working out pretty good. And so he helped Becky today, and I owed him a little bit for cleaning up a mess I had in my other room over there in the back of the house. Rats had gotten in there and made a real mess. So he has cleaned all that up for me, and it smells pretty good in there now. He deodorized it, and it really took care of the problem. That's why I have my 220 repeater is in that room, and I have my library in there, so I certainly don't want the rats to get into my book. I just don't have any other place to go in the library, so I've just held on to that. And of course, it's right below the Tribander, that room. So the tower is right outside the door, and that makes it pretty convenient. All right, I don't have too much more on this end here, so let's just keep this thing going. What a great night we have. Doing a good job there, Skip. So let me move it along to Mel up there in Upland. Yeah, the Inland Empire is well represented here tonight. That's pretty good. WA6JBD. Take it away, Mel. W6YEC.
All right, thank you. W6YEC and the Swan Group WA6JBD. Well, a couple of comments. The frequency problem with the Atlas is typically seems like most manufacturers of transceivers are using the same sets of oscillators on both transmit and receive. So that's kind of an unusual problem. It's enough to make me curious. After the net, I think I'm going to go online and download a schematic of the 210 and see exactly what they did, because that's kind of an intriguing problem. You typically don't see, even with alignment problems, you're dealing with the same oscillators, so something interesting going on there. And as far as Chris's antennas, I think the issue from the description that I heard, it may have been if you had it in a V or inverted V configuration, if the angle from the apex to the two legs is less than 90 degrees, then you start to get a lot of field cancellation, and it starts adding up real quick. that may have been the issue. I don't really know what the configuration was. But right now I'm on a inverted V. It's a double. It's open wire fed. Very shallow, but it's offset. It's not perfectly vertical. So the two legs are kind of pushed out horizontally from where the apex is. So I'm sure that skews the pattern, but it doesn't result in field cancellation. And a good inverted V is going to be reasonably close to omnidirectional. But if it's less than 90 degrees, then you get some field cancellation. So that may have been the issue. I think the only other thing I was going to mention, I've got, working the Swan 700CX. I was playing around with it yesterday. I'm toying with the idea of bringing it up and running it in single sideband with carrier in AM. And noticed when I was doing that, I was hearing quite a bit of hum on the transmit. The hum on the receive is absolutely brutal, and I need to do something about that. But I don't know if somebody wants to comment. I believe I probably have some hum on the transmit as well. So I think I got some capacitors in there to change out before I try the AM. Because inserting carrier starts to make the hum actually sound worse. So I got some work to do there. Now, once I get the 1200W amplifier all fixed up and working, I think I'll tackle the Swan 700CX. It's got a intermittent S-meter, and I do still want to change the tubes out eventually. It's got a couple of other issues, and that I got some work to do on it yet. So, a couple weeks maybe I'll probably be appearing on the net with the Collins or the 7300 or something. But we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you all posted. That's about all I've got for me. I'm going to go ahead and do 73. I'm going to listen out to the bitter end, but I don't really have a whole lot to add at this point. So, looking at the clock, it's probably time to start the 73 round anyway. So, I'll get you all next week, I think. And let's see, who's up to date? Take it away. WA6JBL, WA6JBD.
Okay, now WA6JBD, WB6NWL. Yeah, fine on the 1200W. I used to have a 1200X. The only difference was they used the 8950s in the 1200X, where the 1200W used the 6L260, but they're both pretty close to the same output. They're just little amplifiers, so you don't have to look at that. And I didn't notice any hum on the signal. Well, maybe you were just talking about when you tried to do it on AM, and I just want to finish up on 700. That sounds good. George, that was Frank. I couldn't figure his answer. Because he was saying, Bob told me he had it. And he was kind of in the back box. He didn't really have it on him. Bob, AK600 told me he had it. So, he was out to sell it. So, it looks like it's in pretty good, decent condition. It's one of the ones made in Denton, Arizona, too. It's one of the great bass that they quit making maybe about 62, something like that. Then they went to the 240, like you had for Oceanside. I don't think they made a few of the single banders in Oceanside too. I'm not positive on that, but anyway, that's the story. I got something mess around with it Monday when it's supposed to rain here. That'll be a good little talk. So, let me turn it over to Paul. You were sounding good there, Paul. Look at this.
You got it, Jeff.
KK6RZ, your turn to burn, sir.
Yeah, I don't hear him. Maybe he had to get on the phone, but then I think it's Paul.
Okay, over to you, Paul, and then take a standby in case Jeff shows up. Paul, over to you, K6, little green light.
Yeah, let me give Jeff a call just in case skip is an issue. Not you, Skip, but the propagation. KK6IRZ, WA6JKN, it's your turn if you're there. If not, it goes over to Paul. I don't hear him.
No, I don't think he's there. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, you want me to take it?
Yes, it's your turn. And then take a standby, give Jeff a call when you finish, okay?
Yep, okay. K6LGL, K2LMQ. Okay, solid all the way around. Signals are awesome, and Jay, you're rolling in here, and IRZ, was it IRZ? Somebody mentioned about the Atlas 350 XL for comments, and I had one for a while, and it was pretty nice, a little complex, but a nice rig, but it went down the road for something else, and I forget what. Anyway, good signals all the way around, and as we're chatting here, I'm working through the various pieces of coax that are laying around here looking for some intermittents, which, hello, yeah, which seem to be showing up from some time to time here. And that's it. We're supposed to get the rain, but I think it's tomorrow. I'm just debating now whether to go out and ground things or just leave it be. Anyway, everybody's sounding good here, so it's nice. And I'll toss it back to you, Skip. I'll stay in for one more round. And thank you for running the net as always. And everybody's sounding great. K6LGL, K2LMQ.
Is anybody hearing a buzzing on Paul's signal there?
Any response to that question?
Have Chris repeat what he said. I don't hear anything on Paul's signal. It sounds really good.
You want to repeat that question again, please? K6LGL?
Okay, I thought I heard it. I think I heard even when so I think it's somebody trying to be funny or something. I kept hearing it just down underneath this signal. But disregard, Paul, disregard. I think I heard it after you on Keith, so never mind, sir. It sounded good over here. Cat 60.
Thank you very much. Okay, thanks, Chris. All right. Before we go on, Jeff, are you back? KK6RZ, K6LGL, the phone book. I guess not. Well, it could be that maybe he has either a phone call or perhaps his wife or something. But anyway, we'll catch up again. So let's do sort of 73, the last round there, and we'll see what the rainstorm brings us there. Possibly Sunday, Monday. Not too sure. And I don't think it's going to be as big as the one we had. However, every bit of moisture, if it is slow, is appreciated. We just don't want to cause major landslides and mudslides there. Okay. And on the 350XL, it's a nice radio. But it is a little complex. That is true. And the other one is also the 100 MX is another one that is kind of cute too. All right.
let's go back to you, Chris, and then take a standby in case Jeff comes back. 6IRZ. So, looks like you got that antenna alignment, and you're absolutely right. You improved the wave pattern, the radiation pattern with the antenna, and that's what's accounting for. And you don't have any lobe cancellations, which you probably had before. And, of course, having a proper, let's say, matching device helps also. KI6 CSA, and the Swan Group, K6, little green light.
Okay. Gosh, whoever that is keying up, man, you got problems with that radio. That sounds terrible. Oh, my goodness. All right, guys. Well, we're actually, we turned the 210 off because we got to figure that out. Neat little radio. I like it. It's really compact. So we're on the Kenwood, the TS 520S sugar here. What was I gonna say? Golly. No. Yeah, the antenna. And I kind of talked to George about that whole possibly canceling it. I mean, they're so close to each other. One canceling it out. You know, the signal. Or George was saying making it kind of have a fun pattern. But gosh, I should be swinging close to 100 here, but it doesn't look like it. What else? Oh, yeah. Oh, and the rain. Yeah, we're going to get rain on Monday, Tuesday. And a lot of the reserves here are water reserves, or reservoirs, I should say, are filling up. The Sweetwater, which is just south of us here, is pretty much about almost full. It's almost 100%, a little over 75% full. So, yeah, we're filling up all the water, all the reservoirs around California, which is good. We need that. So, I think that's it for me. Good to hear everybody. I'll try to get on the Swan Net more often. In fact, I need to probably fire up the 500 CX and electric stretcher legs out. So, just moving stuff around the shack here. And I have one of those 100. I have a 100 MXA there, Skip. And that's a great little radio. That thing sounds great too. So, I like all the stuff that Swan made, and Herb, and everybody. And Bob has an Astro. It's beautiful. It's pretty neat too. So, anyways, I think that's cute. So, all right, let me hand it over to Kevin up there in Gilroy. And I think, Kevin, did you say, I think you're on your Swan. I can't remember what you said you're on. You might want to tell us again. I forgot. So up there, and thanks for all the flowers on the antenna, Kevin. I appreciate it. Made my head grow a little bit big. WA6, JKN, KI6CSA.
Yeah, KI6CSA, WA6JKN. No, the Swan's out in the workshop. It's too cold out there, so I'm in my primary shack running the ICOM tonight. So that's the rig into the inverted V and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I keep forgetting to comment on George's accomplishments there with driving and things like that. So, yeah, practice makes perfect. So keep practicing, George, and so you get all that stuff. You know how it goes. If you haven't driven in a while, yeah, you got to get back and practice. So that's a good thing. Let's see what else. JBD signed. Good signal up here, Mel. It's always good to hear you and all the things that you're doing. And matter of fact, I think it was you the other night on the Collins Net that talked about operating, what was it, the X-band. That's what? See, the X-band, that would be about 3 centimeters, something like that, for the antenna, an operating mobile. Wow, that's really impressive. I was going to ask you what kind of an antenna you were running. I would suspect it was just a 3 centimeter antenna on a mag mount, maybe. I don't know what you were doing there, but that's a pretty big deal. I don't think too many people do that. So congratulations. The only time I played around on X-band was in college, in my physics class. And I think we've had that discussion before, and all the experiments that we were running with signals that have very similar characteristics as light. So we were able to do a lot of light type experiments in the lab, so that was kind of cool. I won't get into them here. All right, so let's see. Ron, your signal is really good tonight. Matter of fact, everybody, Phil and Ron and George, Jeff. I don't know what happened to Jeff. Jeff, you made one transmission and then you disappeared. Oh boy, I hope you didn't have any problems with your transmitter there. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, Phil, I've already made comments about Phil's having a real good signal. Well, anyway, it's a 73 round, so I'm going to say 73. And yeah, I hear the, I see the jammer and I hear the jammer that's on there. He must be a lonely fella. It's the only thing I can think of. He must be real lonely, has no friends or whatever, but oh well. I'm not the judge, so I'm just going to say goodnight in 73. And by the way, the auto notch, I was kind of glad in a way that the jammer was there, because when he was going back and forth, I just wanted to see if my auto notch would track it and cancel out the interference, and by golly, it did. So my hat's off to ICOM for coming up with that kind of technology. 73, everybody, and good night. Over to you, Phil. N6WHK, and it's good. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to mention that no problems with your signals tonight, Paul. You got you're 20 over, no problem, and it sounded real good. Hope you find whatever coax or cable problem that's intermittent there. And I wish I was there in your workshop helping you. That was a great experience the last time I was there. I really enjoyed that. Over to you, Phil, and the 6WHK. WA6JKN is clear. Good night.
WA6JKN, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. We'll find business all the way around. Everybody has beautiful signals tonight. Boy, I wish that every night we were on the air, where AMI or Vintage or what the heck have you, had signals like we have tonight. You couldn't ask for a better night than tonight. Everybody is really, really strong and clear and distinct. So it's been a beautiful night. Do appreciate you having me on, and I hope to see you guys next Friday. So, next Saturday, since I've been retarded, I lose track of time. If it wasn't for my calendar, I wouldn't know what day it is. Anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it on over to Ron. 86 BWS. November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. 73, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, Phil. N6WHK, KD6VWS. Ron here in Joshua Tree, where everybody's signals are sounding fantastic. Yeah, well, Phil, if it was like this every night, we'd be spoiled. Oh, man, it'd make hamming too easy. So, yeah, Paul, yeah, you're sounding fine. And, yeah, I heard the jammer tweaking his VFO up and down, doing the old wobble trick. Oh, man, yeah. Children that are bored with their cell phones, they get on Daddy's radio and play Wiggle the VFO. So, alrighty, well, I'll move it on, because I've said about everything tonight. So, W6YEC George, take it away, KD6VWS.
Okay, thanks again, Ron, W6YEC. By the way, I pulled down the manual on the 210, and I couldn't find anything, but it does make a notation on page 20. It says the unique method of changing from receive to transmit mode by switching to carrier oscillator and VFO is illustrated in the following figure 4-2. This element is responsible for great system changes of the receiver circuit into fewer components, low cost, and great reliability.
Oh, Roger D, no doubt about that.
Anyway,
I don't have any problem with it.
Diagram that they're talking about on page 22. What I see is they've got a two oscillator with that uses that point. So it looks to me like if you set your VFO, this is where I would go if I had it on the bench. If you set your VFO on frequency, calibrator, make sure your VFO is right on the receive side. You might need to adjust the carrier oscillator a little bit. And I'm not sure what effect that's going to have on the transmit, but that switch is what switches it. The fuse that you use 303-306 is what they mark here, Chris, just for your information. So it's kind of an interesting, unique design they have going. But I didn't see any notation of what to adjust to align it. So, but I didn't have time to go through the whole manual. So anyway, download the manual and do some study and see what you come up with. You might put it also into the into Google search, and maybe you'll come up with somebody that encountered that and knows exactly what to do. But that's where I would experiment if it was on my bench with that carrier oscillator. It could be off a little bit when the switch switches it from
$7 is your $1,500.
Anyway, here you go. That's just what I see.
Yeah,
It's like $40.80. Yeah. That's what it says. Yeah.
But it looked freaky. It had to do with something going on in Nigeria. So I sat down in the chair, and I looked over, and there was Becky on her reclining couch with a bowl, and she had gone to the store, turned out she bought some ice cream. Boy, was I tempted. But I thought at 10:30 at night, no, I'm not going to go get a bowl of ice cream. And so I resisted that. And I dealt with it today when I went to Foster Free. Anyway, but I think I'll go up there and get me a little ice cream. That'll top off the salmon we had tonight with the broccoli and the squash. So that's my plan. Anyway, it's been fun to be with you guys, as it always is. Thanks again, Skip. Good job on running the net tonight. And so back to you, Mal, if you have anything more for us. W86. Let me get it here. JBT, I know it. W86 JBT in Upland. W6YEC.
All right, thanks, George. W6YEC in the Swan Group, W86JBD. Well, not a whole lot more to add here, but Kevin, in answer to your questions on the 10 gigs, it was not only 10 gig mobile, it was 10 gig mobile CW in motion. So I've done that a handful of times. And I don't have any pictures of it on my QRZ page. I probably should, but there used to be some stuff out there on the internet. If you Google my call sign in 10 gigahertz mobile or something like that, you might find something. But it's a waveguide slot antenna. The antennas were designed by Dan W6 DFW, Delta
Fox Whiskey. He's a silent key, passed away a handful of years ago. And I had helped him work on the design on the slide antennas and so on, and did some testing. And I put together a white paper on it, basically just operational stuff, and presented it at Microwave Update a handful of years ago. So it's out there on the internet. And there's a bunch of the antennas out there in use. I've got one here at the house that I run on 10 gigs once in a while, and also, do the mobile stuff. It's a lot of fun, and it's just amazing how well a little waveguide slot antenna works on 10 gigs. I think I've worked out a couple hundred miles on 10 gigs with it. So anyway, a lot of fun stuff. So anyway, that's what that's all about, and it's all out there on Google too. It's there to be found, I think. So anyway, with that, 73 everybody, good night. I'll catch you next week. Had a really good night tonight on the net. Everybody sounded fantastic. Conditions were really good. Signals were sounding fantastic, and had a good time as usual. So until next week, 73. WA6MWL, your turn. WA6JBD. Good night, everybody.
Okay, Mel. 73, see you. Good to hear you. And, the band has been very good tonight. And, I'd like to hear some of that. I'll have to tune in to Collins next night. I forget it's on. I could probably hear you on Collins there. So that's for sure if you check in on there. Anyway, I don't have too much more here either. And, I'll, keep it going and say 73 to everybody. Hey, George, I'm glad you're going to be driving it soon. That's good. And I went to Foster Freeze last Sunday and had a chocolate sundae. I haven't had one of those in years. Sure tasted good, that's for sure. Anyway, I guess it goes over to Paul. I think he's the next one there. So, look forward to hearing everybody next week, if not before. K2LMQ there at Kingman, WB6MWL.
Thank you, Jay. WB6MWL and the gang. K2LMQ. Okay. Fine business all around. Fantastic signals tonight. the RF gain is way down, and all is well. And Kevin, yes, that was very enjoyable with you here. And as always, you can use the help and making headway here. I'm going to work in here tomorrow with try and find test everything. I think there's an intermittent on one of the amplifier foot switches and just stuff that I got to go through. So anyway, with that, I will say 73. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Take care, and see you all next week. So here you go, Skip, and thank you again, K6LGL, K2LMQ, 73's all.
Okay, thank you, Paul. K2LMQ and the Swan Group, K6LGL. I gave Jeff a call on the landline, on the cell, and no answer. He puts in the automatic reply, leave a message. I don't know what happened there. I'll give him a call, and maybe he'll find out. Maybe something happened there with the family or that. I'm not sure. That was KK6RZ, but no answer, no reply. Left a message to leave a message. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for checking into the net. Some of your comments, George, on the adjustment of the oscillator on the 210, I think are appropriate. And Mel, thanks for the description of your 10 gigahertz with the slot antenna. That is, you can do some marvelous things there on 3 centimeters, and
and a little higher, also lower, and with the slots. So, of course, you end up feeding it with waveguide anyway. Okay, and Chris, good luck to you, and sounds like you're on the right track, and we'll catch you all next week. Thank you very much for checking into the net. 73, stay warm, stay dry and healthy, and we'll look for you another round. So, we'll close the net. Let's see what my time frame here is. Well, about 8:12 or so. So good night, everybody. K6 out,